Hi guys, this is Rama Subramanian. Welcome to my channel Raman Code Academy. In this video, I'm going to show you how to execute your first Java program. In order to execute your first Java program, you need to follow certain steps. So here are the certain steps that you're supposed to follow to execute your Java program. So we'll see all the steps one by one. So the first step, you need an editor where you can type your program. So the first step is to open your editor. Next, second step is to type your program, that is your source code. Third step is to save the application. Fourth step is compilation process. Fifth step is execution process. So this is the steps that you're supposed to follow in order to execute a Java program. So basically, in order to execute a Java program in your system, you need JDK software installed in that. Right? JDK in the sense Java Development Kit. It has to be installed on your system. Don't worry, if you don't have JDK installed in your system, in the description below, I've given you a link to a file which consists of step-by-step procedure to download JDK and install it in your system. Right, now we'll quickly see how to create your first Java program. So the first step to create your Java program is to select an editor. So editor is a tool or a software which will provide you a very good environment to develop a Java program. Examples, you have Notepad, Notepad++, Edit+, etc. Apart from this editor, you have integrated development environment IDEs available. So for Java, we have a lot of IDEs, namely Eclipse, NetBeans, IntelliJ, etc. As per the real-time standards, we are supposed to work with IDEs, but don't use IDEs to develop core Java application because 80% of the work is done by IDEs and remaining 20% of work is done by the developer. Let's see what all the work does that IDE does for us. First, automatic compilation, automatic package import. It shows all the predefined methods of a class, automatically generates try and catch blocks for exception handling. It shows the information about how to fix the bug. So it makes your work more easier. So in order to learn Java, I would prefer to go with Notepad++ or Edit+. In my system, I have Notepad++ installed in it, and I'm going to show you how to execute your first Java program with the help of Notepad++. When you open your Notepad++, you will have an environment like this. On the menu, you can find a menu with the name called as File. You can click on it and you can go click on the menu item called as New to open a new file, or simply you can try to click on the plus button which you have it here, which will help you to open a new file. So I'm just clicking on it, which will open a new file here. So this is the area where we are going to type our Java program. Right before start typing your Java program, so the thing that you have to do is go with the menu called as language and go to the letter J, and you can select Java first. Next, we'll start typing our Java program. So all your Java programs will have a class in it, and all the code that you're going to write it has to be placed inside a class. A class is a container which will have related methods in it. So the way in which you have to declare a class in Java program is like you should have a keyword called as class followed by a class name. A class name can be named with any name, but it has to be more meaningful, right? If some third person comes and see your program, they should understand what that particular class is going to do. What are all the things that we have it inside that particular class? Everything has to be conveyed with the help of that particular class name. So since it's our first program, right, let me say it as class greetings, and we'll try to open a braces and close braces. Right. So this open braces that you have it here denotes the starting point of your class, and the closing braces that you have it here denotes the ending point of your class. Inside your class, like you should have main method. We call that main method as a entry point of your program. So when you execute a program, a compiler will first look for a main method, and the statements that you have it inside your main method alone will be executed. So this main method plays a very important role in all your Java program. So all your Java program should have a main method. Without a main method, like we cannot write even a single program and execute it. So now we'll see like how to define a main method. So we'll have public static void main, and we'll have string args off. And again, a main method should have a set of braces which will help you to understand like where the main method begins and where main method ends. If you want to print something onto your output screen, you have to make use of a statement called as system.out.println and open a parenthesis and close it. Then open a double quotation and close it. And inside this double quotation, whatever the content that you provided will be printed onto your output screen as such. So since it's our first program, I'll just say it as hello from Raman Code Academy, and all your statements that you have it in Java must be ended with a semicolon. So we'll put a semicolon at the last. So that's it. Our first program to print hello from Raman Code Academy is done. So the next step that we have to do is we have to save our program. So I'll just press Control plus S to save. So I'll click on my desktop location, and I'm going to save my program onto my desktop. And when it comes with the file name, I'm going to give the same name as of your class name that you have it over here. Later, I'll tell you like why we are supposed to give it like that. So now I'll just give my class name as greetings, and see here the extension is .java. So for all your Java programs, it has to have an extension called as .java, and I'm clicking on the save button. Now, if you get into your desktop, like you can find a file with a name called as greetings, and if you check the properties of it, like it will be with the extension called as .java. So our first program is ready. Now in order to execute this, like you have to open your command prompt. So we can simply go here, search for cmd and click OK, like it will open. So by default in all your systems, like it will open with the users and your username. So now the Java program is placed onto my desktop. So we have to travel to this particular path where the program is. So if you just type it as cd desktop, which will help you to get into that particular desktop location. This is one way. If you find it difficult to navigate to this particular path, the other easy way that you could do is try to open your file explorer and try to locate your file where it is. So I have it onto my desktop. Here, what you can do is you can try to remove all these things that you have it here and type it as cmd and press enter. So automatically it will open a command prompt with that particular navigation path. So this is done. Next step that we are supposed to do is, see, first we have selected the editor, then we have typed our program. Next, we have saved our program with the extension .java. Now we are supposed to compile your program, and then we have to execute your program. So in order to compile your Java program, you have to give it as Java C. Java C means Java compiler, followed by a file name .java. The file name that we had it is greetings.java. So I'll give it as greetings.java and press enter. So as of now, my program doesn't have any error in that. So it is ready for its execution. In case like if you have errors, it will be listed out here. Only after clearing all those errors, you will be able to see the output. Else you will not be able to see the output. Now, in order to execute your Java program, the syntax that we are supposed to follow is we have to give it as Java, the class name where you have your main method. So the class where we have our main method is greetings. So I'm giving it as greetings here. So press enter. It will help you to print hello from Raman Code Academy. Please remember, so while compiling, like you have to give it as Java C file name.java. While executing, you have to give it as Java class name where you have your main method. Since the class name where I have my main method and the file name are same for both compilation and for execution, I have the same name greetings. Now, I'll show you like what are all the different ways in which we can execute this particular program. So in the last execution, the class name and the file name both are of same. If you see, the class name is given as greetings here and the file name is also given as greetings. So during your compilation and during your execution, like we were giving the same name. So while compiling, what is the thing that we have given? We have given it as Java C file name.java. So greetings.java. So this is how we have compiled. And during your execution, we have given it as Java, the class name where you have your main method. So Java, we have given it as greetings since we have the main method inside it. So that is one way of execution. On the other hand, like most of us will have a doubt with this. Always, like, is it a compulsion that we should have the file name as of your class name? No, it's not required. We can have different names for your class and as well as of your file. Let's see how it is going to work. Now, see, I have my file name as greetings, right? So now I'm going to change this particular class name. So let me try to go here, change it as first. Since it's our first program, we'll try to give the class name as first. Now let's try to save it. Now again, let me try to open a command prompt, right? So the program is onto my desktop. So I'll just move on to my desktop. Now the command that we have to use it for compiling is Java C file name.java. We'll say it as greeting.java and press enter. So your program is compiled. Now, in order to execute it, like you have to give it as class name followed by the class name where we have your main method. So the class name where we have your main method is first. We'll say it as Java first and say, so again we are getting it as hello from Raman Code Academy. So here if you look at it, the class name and the file name both are of different and it's not same. So in the previous case, in this both the locations, like we were giving it as greetings. Now since we have a small variation, see, this is how we are supposed to do it. So in the most of the schools and colleges, they don't say this, like simply they used to say it as give the file name and the class name as of same. The reason is to avoid confusions. But when it comes with interview, they'll ask you, is there any compulsory thing that like we have to give it the class name and the file name as same? Like most of the students used to say it as yes. That's not the correct answer. Please do remember, it's possible for us to give a different class name and a different file name Alright, definitely you will be able to execute it and you can get the output for sure. Now we'll see another scenario in the with the same program. See here, now we have the same program like with the file name greetings and the class name as first. Now we'll do a small changes like we'll go here, we'll try to have something called as public here. Now let's try to save it. Now let's try to open a command prompt again. We'll get into the desktop. Right now what we will do is we'll try to compile it. We'll say it as Java C. The file name is greetings.java. Right, see here, class first is public, should be declared in a file named first.java. So please do remember one thing guys, like if you have a normal class name, it's possible for us to have a different name for your class and a file name. But if your class is declared as public, please do remember one thing. The class name and the file name should be of same. You cannot change it. Now, in the same program, I'll remove the class name as first and I'll give it as greetings.java. We'll try to save it. And now let's try to compile the same program again. It will compile. We'll say it as Java greetings. You will have your output. So this is another important thing that you need to note it. I'll repeat. If your class is given as public, the file name and the class name should be of same. You cannot change it. If your class is not declared as public, then your file name and a class name can be of different. Now we'll see another important interview question. In interviews, they'll ask like whether Java is platform dependent or independent programming language. Now, see the answer for this particular question is Java is a platform independent programming language. On the other hand, like you'll have the languages like C language, C++, C Sharp.NET will be considered as platform dependent. We'll try to understand what do you mean by platform dependent and platform independent, right? So first, if you take it with the languages like C, right? See, first what we will do is we'll type a program in C editor. We'll save that particular program with an extension called as .c. We'll give that particular file as an input to the C compiler. C compiler does all its work and it will generate an .exe file. When you execute that .exe file, you will get your output. See, try to understand one thing. This .exe will be executed only on Windows operating system and it will not work with the other operating system like Linux or Mac likewise. So here, when we say it as platform dependent and platform independent, the word platform represents the operating system. That's why we are talking about the different operating systems now, right? So the program, if you have created a C program in Windows operating system, it can run only on Windows operating system. It cannot be run on Linux or Mac. The same way with C++ and C Sharp.NET. Now, when it comes with Java, it's not the same way of execution. When we give this .java file as an input to your compiler, after your compilation, you'll be getting a .class file and not .exe. So the other programming languages like C, C++, C Sharp give you a .exe file, whereas here in Java, it will give you a .class file. This .class file will be in bytecode format, which can be executed on any of the operating system that you have it, like Windows, Linux, or Mac and all. We'll see a simple example. I'll show you like how it works and everything. Now, we'll try to minimize this. We'll try to take your command prompt. Now, see here, when you look at this particular screen, like I have a file called as greetings. and this is a Java file, our program which we have it. Now here, like what I'm going to do is I'm going to compile my program. See, once after I compile it, if you see, like a new file will be generated here. Now we'll say it as Java C greetings.java and I'll press enter. If you look at it, a new file is created with the name called as first.class. So this is a class file which is in bytecode format, which can be executed on Windows, Linux and Mac. Now see here, how, like, why does it gives a name called as first.class? So if you look at your program, the class that we had it in our program is first. The class name which we have it here is first. So for every class that you have it in a file, it will generate a class file. Now see, since we have the class name as first here, the class file which is generated also has a name called as first.class. So now you will have another doubt. What happens if I have multiple classes in a file? So definitely in Java it is possible for us to have multiple classes in a file. So now we have a class called as first. What we will do is we'll try to say it as class second. Second we'll simply open braces and close the braces. I'm not going to give anything here. Now let's try to have another class called as third. We'll open a brace, we'll close a brace. I'm not going to do anything. Now let me try to save it. So how many classes do we have it in this program? We have three classes, first, second and third. Now let's see what happens if we compile this program. Right, so we'll minimize this. We'll try to get in here. See, we already have a file, Java file with the name called as greetings.java, and we have only one class file here called as first.class. Now we'll recompile this particular program and see what happens. See, immediately other two files is added along with that. So this particular program, what happens, it will generate a class file for all the classes that is present inside this particular greetings.java. So since we had three classes with the name first, second, third, like we have three class files generated here, first.class, second.class and third.class. Right, so if I have 1000 classes inside a file, it will create 1000 class files. So this is the concept that you need to understand. All right, so now we'll see another couple of things with the same program. So now I'll try to get into the same program again. I'll just try to see, like we have seen an example that like we can have multiple classes inside a file. Now my question is it possible for us to have multiple main methods in a program? Right, is it possible for us to have multiple main methods in a program? See here, in this program which we have compiled, only the first class has a main method. The second class is not having its main method. The third class is also not going to have a main method with it. Now we'll see like what happens if we have multiple main methods. We'll just try to copy this. I'll put it in my second class and I'll put it in my third class as well. So all your classes is going to have a separate main method with it. Now let's say it as hello from first. In the second one, let me change it as hello from second, and in the third one, let me change it as hello from third. So we'll save this particular program. We'll try to minimize this. We will compile it again. So now when I run this, like what will be the output? So that's the thing that we need to understand. So see, during your compilation, it doesn't shows any error. It means that it is possible for us to have multiple main methods in a program. That's not a problem. But what will be the output? Which main method will be executed first and will be shown on your output screen? So this is the thing that we need to understand. So now let me give it as class first. So the main method that you have it in your class first alone will be processed, and that alone will be shown on the output screen. So if we have it as hello from first, in case of giving it as first, like if we give it as second, let's see what happens. It will say it as hello from second. The reason is the main method which is given inside your class second alone will be processed, and that alone will be shown on your output screen. Now let's say it as Java, and we'll give it as third and see what happens. Hello from third. So at that time only one main method can be processed, right? So it depends on the class name which you give it. So based on the class name that you give it, it will look for the main method there, and it will be processed. Now let's try to do another thing and see what happens. Now we'll come here, we'll try to remove the main method from your class third. Now let me try to save this particular program, right? We'll minimize it, we'll come here, we'll compile the program again, and now we'll say it as Java third. Here in this case, Java third, the third class doesn't have any main method in it. Let's see what happens. So if you give a class name where we don't have a main method, it will throw you an error saying it as main method not found in class third.